Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing?
Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Doctor. Doing great.
Good evening, sir.
Great. Appreciate everybody's time. We will be starting time now. Tonight, our special guest is Tutu. And I'm looking in there to see if Tutu was able to join us. And Gabriel is going to be my co-pilot. So Gabriel is going to help with some of the questions. And if you have any questions, this is a discussion more so than an interview. So Tutu is going to walk us through her journey. She has a unique journey than most of the folks who come through, because she was actually studying cybersecurity. So that is a different perspective that we are going to be looking at tonight. So you're all very much welcome. We've started transmitting on YouTube as well, and we are going to jump in. So kindly give me a second whilst we allow other folks in, and we will jump in from here. So you can put in the chat where you're joining us from, and we will give you some shout out before we wrap up for tonight. All right. So welcome everyone once again. This is Eretmis Cyber Chat. We do this every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And tonight we are going to be looking at the journey, career switch journey of Tutu. And she's going to do us the honors of walking us through her journey up to this point. She's working as a cybersecurity analyst, and she's going to be telling us what she's doing on the job and how, the whole transition went. So you are very much welcome. I'm Dr. Emmanuel Edu. I'm going to be your host for your facilitator for tonight. Gabriel is going to be my co-pilot. I'm a former United States Army captain. I'm the founder of Eretmis Academy and the CEO of Eretmis Inc., a PCI QSA company, and a cybersecurity consulting firm based out of New York. Former United States Army captain, a member of the Forbes Technology Council, and then also a former professor at University of Maryland Global Campus and CTC. And Eretmis, we are partners with CompTIA. So if you are looking to sit for any CompTIA security, any CompTIA certification exams, we can give you a 20% discount. So just reach out and I will give you the instructions to do that. Now, for folks who are looking to renew their certifications, if you've sat for any certification in the past, I think every 3 years you have to renew. For CISA and others, it's 3 years, but every year you have to show that you are continuously developing yourself. So tonight, every 45 minutes of this session, you get one educational point that you can use for your recertification. And then also we have a WhatsApp group. The link is going to be posted. So if you are joining us for the first time, you'll be able to join us, a community of like-minded people, and it's a great community for you to learn from. And we are also on Skoll. So this is another platform similar to what you use WhatsApp and others for, but it can do way more. And we are gradually, moving the community on there. So we encourage you to join that as well. So tonight, we are skipping cyber chat, cyber news, because we are going to be, diving into the journey of Tutu. So that is going to be a little bit extensive. So because of time, we are going to skip that. But before we do, our Valentine's Day sales is still going on. So it ends on the 27th. So we have about a week to go. So if you've not taken advantage of the 30% discount, kindly do so. And then also we have a graduation tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, our seniors, our internship seniors, they are graduating. So we encourage you to, support them. For everybody who's gone through internship, you know the amount of work that goes into this. So we encourage you to join them as well. And our AI challenge is starting next week. Also, our other courses, the dates were announced, I think, last week and a week before. And the winners of AI challenge were announced last week. So this is just a recap of it. And our Valentine's sale is still going on. And for folks looking to break into the cybersecurity space, if you are totally new, we encourage you to look into our cybersecurity entry-level course. And also for our internship and workshop, the new cohort is starting on the 28th. So if you've done some training, you have a degree, but you don't have any real-world hands-on experience, you cannot do the job if you are given the job. Nobody's going to train you on the job. So it is prudent for you to have the skills needed before you actually land the role. And even if you find a way of bypassing interviews or talking your way through interviews and getting the job, you cannot talk your way or out of doing the job. You have to actually do. And this is what this program seeks to do. We are going to work on 8 to 10 major projects. So it prepares you for the job market. It prepares you for the job itself. Our cloud security program is also starting later this month. The dates were announced. I think it will still be put out again. This is for folks who are already in the security space, or even if you've been in IT for a while, you want to transition into cybersecurity. This is also a good opportunity for you. And now AI governance. This is what I'm encouraging everyone who is working as a cybersecurity professional. You have to jump onto this before it becomes a bit too late for you, because now AI governance is not gradually becoming, but it's part of your role as a cybersecurity professional, right? So this program, very hands-on. You are going to go through the genesis of AI, foundation of it, all the way up to how to govern, how to conduct risk assessment, compliance, and all that as well, right? And then our PCI DSS for folks looking to specialize in the most lucrative niche in the cybersecurity space. This is what Eretmis Inc. This is what we do for a living. So we can tell you for a fact, this is the most lucrative niche in the cybersecurity space. We do all other things in the cybersecurity space, but this is it. So if you're looking to specialize in the cybersecurity space, this is where we encourage you to look at, right? So this is also starting later in the month. And our WhatsApp group link is going to be posted. So with that out of the way, we are going to jump into our conversation. And I think Tutu is here. Tutu, if you are here, kindly give us a shout out and let us know you are here, and we are going to take it from there.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Oh, and Gabriel. Okay, I can also see Gabriel. So I'm going to pin Tutu and Gabriel. That way it's easy to find you both. Yes, we can hear you, Tutu. So let me give a little background to our encounter with Tutu, and she's going to walk through her story herself. Yeah, sorry about that. Tutu joined our, I think it was August 2023, GRC internship and workshop. So per her introduction and the video, we sent out the video. Probably Tutu was wondering where did Dr. Edu get that video, right? That was our very first meeting where everybody was introducing themselves. And then also we had Tutu come back during graduation last year. She wanted to say a word or two, so we gave her the chance. And I wasn't even aware Tutu had landed a role. I was thinking she was still working for, she got a role in the startup company that she was doing her internship through her school for. But now she got a role, and, she was telling us a little bit about how all that happened. But we are bringing her back tonight for her to go through the whole entire journey. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask Tutu as well. So I'm going to start, and then I'll have Gabriel come in. So Tutu, you are welcome, and thank you for your time. If you will give us some background into what you are doing prior to cybersecurity, or even studying cybersecurity in school, and what really informed your decision of, moving into the cybersecurity space. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Tutu, and good evening, Dr. Adu. Sometimes I always call you Dr. Edu, Betis, Adu. So good evening, everyone. I've been studying cybersecurity for I think since I've taught studying computer security and computing since college years. So during my master's period, I decided to go into cybersecurity because one of my lecturers talked me out of being a programmer. So I decided cybersecurity to have more time with my family. And I started studying from Cameroon. I went to Nigeria and then completed all my studies in UK from um, HND to my master's degree. So I moved to US to meet my husband, and I had a very, very long break, so that I could stay with my children for them to grow. Then I decided to go into the market. Um, so I put in one or two applications or so, maybe more than that. And every time I go, they tell me, oh, you have the book experience, but you don't have the hands-on experience. And I'm very good in the technical side. So I decided, okay, I will go and like do a top up to make to just have that hands-on experience. So I was looking around for schools and university. I never knew there was anything called GLC framework, part of the cybersecurity stuff. I never knew anything about that. So, but while I was going through my studies, I knew about frameworks. They talked about PCI, ISO, and everything. They never went into details. They just said those are frameworks. So I didn't have any interest in going into um, details on that. They just said you can write certifications on them. But I concentrated on my technical part of it. And when I was looking for schools to go to, so I saw a very good course in my university, the university I graduated. That was information in health security. So I went into because it was hands-on, and it was based on the technical side, everything that I needed. That was what they were offering. So I decided to go into it. But when I started, every time I turn the TV, I'll just hear PCI, cybersecurity, PCI. On my phone, I'm just PCI, GLC. I was like, what is GLC? What is PCI? I was Googling and checking, and I said, okay, have heard some, I came across some frameworks. PCI, I knew about PCI because they use it highly in UK. I just knew it was a pro. I thought it was a program that you must banks and financial institutions must have in order to transact their business. That's all I knew. So I was surprised to know that there's another branch of cybersecurity that will not entail like the technical part of things. So I started looking into it. I I saw there was one guy that was always advertising everywhere. I decided to, I don't know how the invite got into my email, so I decided to join. And that time he was giving a promo for, I think, 2 months, that if you, I think for three 300, that if you sign into the program, you know everything about the framework. He was he was solely on PCI. So I said, let me try. Maybe I can get more because I like doing, I would say I'm an adventurer when it comes to education. When it comes to the thing I like doing, I like going into it. So I will get more experience, and I'll be able to defend myself better when I'm in the job market. So that at that time I wasn't um, doing anything. I just decided, okay, before I even started, because it was a long period before they had to check all my certifications from school, and it took a long time for my school back in UK to send my certification to the university. So during that, like 6 months, it was during COVID and all this, I decided to go into IT support with Apple. So I applied and I got the position. I was doing it. And after that COVID hit, it was so serious. They brought some policies. You don't have to allow people into your room for when you are at work. And I had little children that time, 7 and maybe 8 months, and I couldn't cope. So I told them I will not be able to continue. Then I concentrated. So when I went into that course, that 2 months course, um, it was like a recording. They just give you videos to watch and figure out whatever you want to figure out and how to put the things together. So then they will have like a Zoom once in a week that you come, and they'll tell you what it's all about. I didn't really like it. They said if you want to go into the real program, you have to pay about, is it 12,000 or so? I was like, it's not even interesting. I'm not going anywhere. So I went online. I said, okay, I might even see free free classes that I can do. I can learn on my own. At least I'm good in learning on my own. So let me just go into Google and start Googling around. And I was Googling free PCI because that was what was raining that time. I didn't really know what was it, PCI and everything. And then I came across Dr. Adu's website. I said, yeah, Dr. Adu, this is it from Calabar or from where? Let me just try. It's my brother. Let me just try. I sent a message. I said, then it looks as if he was offering a free courses, about 2 or 3 classes free for PCI. I was thinking that was it. That was all. I said, okay, I even got the free version, but let me just try, because I did the first, second, and third free classes that were there. It was interesting and everything. So let me reach out. Maybe the person might give me free again. I don't know. So I reached out. I never heard anything from the doctor. So I started school. I forgot about him. I didn't even and think about it again. I started school, and it was very interesting because everything I did on that course, on that my program, was all hands-on. What I was lacking, I did everything for the technical side. But because it was a health security information, they taught us all the policies on the HIPAA side, and we'll get to write some update some policies for hospitals that they were referring us to. So one day I looked at my phone, I saw an invite from Dr. Adu that, oh, they have this normal webinar that you should join at 7. And I said, oh, I remember this man. Let me just join and see. Hope he will not come and tell me again to pay 30,000 or so. Let me just join. I was always curious to know, to learn more when it comes to cybersecurity. So I joined that day. And that day he was talking about the frameworks, he was talking about NIST and everything. And my husband, his friends, they from school, some of them dropped out from pharmacy school just to go and study NIST, and they were saying there's a lot of money in NIST that you have to go. So when he was talking about the NIST framework and everything, I was like, okay, so this is it. All right, let me sit a little and listen. So I continued on the I was listening, I was researching, and I really did not want to go to, I had lost interest on the frameworks. I wanted to get into his program because of and there's another program that he has, that he helps for interviews. So that one was going for like 1,000 something that time. I said, okay, this is durable. Let me just go to this one. I'll just do my CV and brush up my soft skill, and then I'll just start applying. Now that I'm into my course, I'm doing well, I like it. So I gave him a call, and I talked about NIST, and that I've done something about NIST. I didn't even understand. I said RMF, and Dr. Edu was like, that is NIST. The framework should be like, it should be NIST, not RMF, all those things. I was like, okay. And we talk. I don't even know how I paid for the internship. I'm not sure how I paid, but I paid because he said it was going to be hands-on, and I'll be doing the program with a company, with something like that. Those companies, but it's hands-on. So the hands-on part of it caught my attention, and I said, okay, I will go for the course. And I registered, and we started. And during that time that I was supposed to start with the course, that was the period when my school was sending us, say we should go for internships, because it's part of my program. So they were trying to place us with some companies, and so they placed me with a company, and that company was a startup company. It had nothing in there was no cybersecurity, nothing. And I went back to my professor. I said, why did the school place me with a company that has no cybersecurity? And where will I start from? And he just said, you can do it because you have all the skills. And he was an not Indian person, he was a Chinese professor. Say, you can do it, you have all the skills. With all the skills you have, you will excel. I said, okay. So that was the very month I started with Doctor, the internship program. And then when we started it, they put us in different groups, different company, both and two company heads. And I did not know what to expect, but it was a very interesting journey. Very, very interesting one. And the other side of my internship, it was very cool, calm. There was another lady there, an Indian lady. He knew, and she was very good with programming, developing website, and so my own part was to come in as to secure all those to put in controls and to secure the program. And it was this K-12 type of program. They were doing it for a school. So we with that, we had to develop, they were into NIST and ISO frameworks. So we had to work on those frameworks, bring out some baselines and all those things, policies and everything. So I knew the policy part of the health side, and with doctor, I had his own policies as well. So I had a double advantage at that time. So I will combine his and combine the information from my school, and I will bring out a very good document. And because I knew I was very good in the technical part, so I was in that internship for about 2 weeks when they decided to take us full time. So every time I'm sure once I reached out to doctor once to talk about the policies also, and he gave me some tips and everything. But that is how I combine those two knowledge to perform very well. But in my team, it taught me a lot of soft skills, a lot of it. That was the best thing I carried out of the internship. This how to manage people, how to communicate, how to organize. My team really taught me those things. And if I somewhere, I always take everything into consideration. I observe, I talk, I absorb, I make sure. They say you go through, you don't just go through the school, let the school come and go through you. So I make sure I drink every information, either bad or good. I will take it, then I start filtering on what to use. So our team was so interesting. Sometimes, not sometimes, all the time we were always back. Like we'll come to the during our presentation, we're always last in everything. And it was a very interesting team. It was fun. So when I finished the internship, getting all that information, I got to know how to do the risk registry very well. And with I came to understand with the whole thing being technical or non-technical, everything blends itself into one, because even if you are not technical, um, the RMF or the GLC too is technical in a way that you have to be you have to know a little bit of the both side to be able to fully cope in that other in the GLC area. So
Okay.
after
So thank you, Tutu. I think we are going to go into some specific questions, and then we'll break it down and even make it. But thank for the intro and giving us all this background. So I think from what Tutu was saying, Tutu studied, she was studying computer science and then branched into cybersecurity as a major. She started off from Cameroon and then the UK, and then eventually moved to the US. And she was looking for, in the cybersecurity space, she was looking for something that was more hands-on. So she went back to her school to do a follow-up course, and that was more on the health side of security. And then the school got her into an internship program. But before then, while she was trying to get into that, she also joined the Eretmis GRC and internship program, right? So mostly maybe when she says internship, that way we don't get confused which one she's referring to. The Eretmis was the GRC internship and workshop. And then she was doing one for a startup company that had no cybersecurity structures in place, right? So, and she was blending what she was getting from Eretmis and doing that also for the startup company. So I'm going to hand it over to Gabriel to ask at least 2 or 3 questions, and then I'll come in and we open the floor for other folks to also ask their questions as well. So Gabriel, please go ahead.
All right, Dr. Adu, thank you very much. And thank you, Tutu, for sharing your experience with us this evening. And just a quick one for those of us in chat, you can put your questions in there. So as the program goes on, I can check and bring those questions forward for Tutu to help us answer them. So my question, first of all, would be this. Looking at the controversy of how saturated the cybersecurity profession is at this time, and whether there are lots of jobs out there are jobs or not, regardless of what Cyber6 says. What anyone trying to break into the field will be struggling with will be, how do I be that main pick out of the lot for the jobs we are contending for? If you look at LinkedIn, you apply for a job, it takes, you see under 5-10 minutes, you see 100 applicants already. So what skill do you think actually matters for anyone trying to get into this field as we speak? What is the most important skill you would say you need to possess for getting into the field? That would be my first question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gabriel. For skills to get into the field, I won't say there's a specific skill that you need, but you need to be solid in what you do. You need to be confident in what you do. But most of the times, what I experience, the soft skills are more on the field than even the cybersecurity skills that you are looking for. If you have like, for instance, when I went into my interview, most of the questions they were asking, it was more of how you can express yourself for people to understand, and how you can handle people, because most of the time you are dealing with most of people that don't really understand the cybersecurity job or the cybersecurity terms. You have to break it down to what they can understand, because you can go in an interview, you can put in your CV, and they called you for a job, and you are all into the technical or the GLC thing, but if you can explain, if you have the soft skill that you can input into the cybersecurity and show that you have hands-on on your CV, that can get you further, can get you far.
Yeah, that's a very good response, Tutu. I really appreciate that. And it goes back to what Dr. Adu usually says, that whatever you want to do, start from the place of knowledge and do grandpa style. And to buttress that, cybersecurity truly is full of people with technical knowledge, but they can't explain it. So if what Tutu is saying is what's gold, you need to be able to break very complex terms and problems into very simple terms that non-technical people can understand. And having that hands-on and the ability to communicate is truly a very valuable one. Thank you very much, Tutu, for that insight. So my second question will be this. People always say that as much as you have the technical knowledge, you can communicate, can do that. There's always this tendency to have the inferiority complex when you find yourself in a different environment or a new organization. Did you have any of such experience? And if you did, how did you cope with that?
So I didn't have any such experience because first of all, for me, I went in with a ton of knowledge, and I take my time to explain it to people and to people or to my staffs or my bosses. I didn't have anything there's not, as long as you have the brain, you can produce what you know, you can do the work, then you should be comfortable with yourself. You should be comfortable and confident with yourself. And you shouldn't say, oh, because I'm from Africa or from where, this one knows how to present themselves very well. No, sometimes they know how to present themselves very well, but they don't know how to um um they don't know how to conclude what they have started. So if you go in with confidence, you know what you are doing, what you are presenting, or what you bring into the company, then you should not have any problem.
Okay.
Except you don't know and you don't know your stuff.
Okay, so basically competence solves the problem of imposter syndrome, if I understand that well. I
Yeah.
appreciate your response for that. Thank you very much, Tutu. So lastly, I think I heard Dr. Adu mention that your organization was a startup.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yes, the one
Okay,
yes, my
okay,
former organization was a startup.
okay. Yeah, so one last question is this. Looking at the business world, we notice that regardless of how big or how small an organization is, that doesn't justify the security posture or maturity of that organization. So for different organizations, looking at your experience, how do you navigate that environment where an organization is super huge or probably super small, and yet they don't have the basic understanding of what cybersecurity is? How do you navigate that kind of environment? And what are the things you would advise for anyone getting into the field proper or getting a job for starters? How do they navigate that kind of environment to help the organization?
So with starters, what I experienced was that they they will depend on you 100%. And we when I went in, I was confident with my technical skills. So I knew that, okay, for a starter, you have to maybe you have to put in some tools. We have to build up a website, and we have to bring in. So when you are building the website, you have to, as the code is going, you have to put in security measures to make sure that there's no, maybe for instance, SQL injections, all those things, that it's safe and secured. So as you are building it, it's like you come to like the internship, the Dr. Adu's internship, when you come in there, you come in as a starter. So it's the same thing that you go and meet in a company that doesn't have anything. They start from the very basis. You have to work through policies. You have to tell them how many assets they will need and all this, the cost, everything, and you present it to the management, and if they are okay with it, they will go in, and then you just do the normal configurations and everything. But with a big company, they've already have a cybersecurity system that is there, and then you just need to apply what knowledge you have, because they already have the framework set up. They already have everything. You just need to come in and just apply your knowledge that you have. But with a small company, without anything, you have to look into budgeting, assets, and all those things. But when that will depend on the management. Whatever they bring, you can start up with that in configuring the environment.
Yeah, very well said. So lastly, help us put this to bed. One thing that newbies, those of us trying to get into the field, that we struggle with: tools, certifications. We're always burdening ourselves. Oh, which one do I need to get first? What do I need to do? Do I need to know these tools? Do I need to know that before I can get a job? What is the real situation on the marketplace? Can you explain to us, please?
So with tools, I'm not sure you should go into study tools. Because they will teach you. If it's an organization that is already established, they are going to teach you those tools. No matter whether you are 20 years or 30 years in the field, when you go to an organization, they will have to teach you the tools that they have. So we don't need to, if you want to know a tool, you can know just one in a family. Maybe scanning, you can say, okay, I'll just learn Qualys and see how to scan. Then maybe for endpoint, you can say, okay, CrowdStrike, I'll just see how it goes. Just have an idea, not that even going into details, just have an idea how it works, so that when you go to the interview, they ask you, okay, what tools do you know? You name those ones, and what you have studied, you can say, okay, I did a scan on this tool and this tool. If they are not using that tool, you say, well, you can take the knowledge you have from that tool. They all work the same, and you'll be able to apply it. But when you go in, even if you know those tools, they are willing to teach you. Mostly with my job, I work in the state government. They would just teach you again all over, whether you know or you don't know. They will just take you through tools. So with tools, it's not don't focus your attention on that. The main thing you should focus on is how to actually know what you are doing, because you can go there might be some things that when you ask the management or manager too much, they'll say, oh, this person is not competent. So they'll start looking for another person to replace you, but they'll never replace someone that doesn't know tools, because tools are easy to work with.
All right. Thank you very much for those answers. I think that will be all of my questions for now, Dr. Adu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gabriel. And Tutu, so going back, you said whilst you were doing the Eretmis GRC internship, you are also in a startup company, and they had no structures in place for cybersecurity. So walk us through, how did you go about building the structures for them? As you started off in the security space, you were still in training in school. You got into Eretmis, and then they put you in a startup company to work as an intern. How did you go about, building things from scratch for them. If you can walk us through that briefly.
So when I started, they said they said they are using the NIST framework and ISO framework, that both of us should figure out how to come up with some, first of all, policies, because that was their main focus, and then to do a baseline for them as well. And we came together. So the my other colleague didn't know anything on policies and all those things. So I was the one that will meet together, and I will say, okay, this is what I've learned. I'm learning with one of my internship, and this is what I've learned in school. So we'll come together, we'll put heads together, we will research, and and um, we put those together. And then, but every week we had a meeting, just as we had here. Every week we have a meeting for the management to see where we have reached. Then after that, when we finished the policies, they now said, okay, we need to build the website. And then on the website, they first said they needed one or two network tools to be able to do monitoring and then build a website. So we the only tool we suggested to them were two tools, and the endpoint and CrowdStrike and ServiceNow. So we said they should, those tools we do for now. And then we started with building the website because the website is it's similar to Canvas, where students go in, there's assignments and everything, they do it. So we had to build it and make sure that they are compliant, because the company was in Michigan. They have their own laws for education there. We had to also write a policy based on that for them to follow in their educational sector. And also as we were building the website, I was making sure that I put all necessary controls in case for security. I put all necessary controls for security, and then we built it and security. So every week, and the manager, one of the managers um, knew a little bit about development. So you say, okay, you will come in and help, and then that's how we're building. And the database, we built the database. The database was a link with I've forgotten this listen, so when I remember, I'll come back to it. It was, so we will go in there to check to see that everything was they can see, just to make sure that the website was up and running, and also it was secured. So that was how we built. But as we were doing it, we will tell them that, okay, this costs this you have to pay, because you can't use a free version for this, and we'll give them a budget, and they will sit on it and say, okay, if they want, they will take, and if they didn't, they will drop it. So that is how we do. And if they didn't want, if there was like a security tool that they needed that they didn't want, they would drop. But we will have to look for a way to make sure that that code is secured in any way. So that is how we built it, and it was that's how we had to established the cybersecurity thing, and then we started doing monitoring through testing how tickets will be going to ServiceNow for incidents to be worked on, and how to see how CrowdStrike, the assets that will be on CrowdStrike that they will be monitoring. And then, so that was what that was my area on the project.
Okay, to do that, thank you for that. So I think Angela was asking, what was your job title? Because you kept saying building a website. Was it you building the website, or they have developers building the website, but you're just looking at the security part of it? What you were going to put in place in terms of controls to make sure the website was secure, or you are actively taking part in the building of the website? And if you can break that down more.
No, I wasn't part of the developers. I was mainly security, but I will stay with the developers to see. Sometimes they will write a code to see, they'll write like an injection code to see, just like penetration testing, to see if there's a loophole in any way. So if there is, I will have to mitigate that, to see the means on mitigating that issue. So I wasn't developing, I was just looking.
Okay. So Tutu is explaining her role, part of the software development lifecycle, right? So as they were, every development should have a cybersecurity professional as part of the team. So the developers will have a security professional on board. And when they are doing their dynamic and static testing, that is what Tutu is talking about, or sometimes stress testing, that is where you come in, right? So they will try all the different, vulnerabilities that software might be prone to. So if, they test it and it fails, then, Tutu will give her input, hey, I think we have to work on input validation to make sure we are getting rid of SQL injection and other types of injection attacks or command injection attacks, right? So something of that nature is what Tutu is explaining. Now, Tutu, so how long did you work for this company, and when did you decide to move on to another company? And then you walk us through. So just how long did you work for this company, and when did you decide to move on to a different company?
So I worked till, I think, early March. I stopped
Last year.
because of 24.
Okay.
Yes, March of 24. I decided to stop because I wanted to concentrate. I needed to get a distinction in my school, my degree. So I stopped all working at that time. I didn't do any work or anything. I concentrated on school. So when I finished school, when I finished school, I finished April, but they were reaching out to me from time to time. They'll say, oh, can you help us with this? Can you help us with this? Can you help us with this? So I finally left them in September of 2024. But I wasn't a full-time staff. So when I finished school, I decided, okay, I wanted to change and I wanted to work in the government. That was my main aim. So, and that is why I was so happy when I joined your cohort, because it taught me every soft skill I know today is from the cohort. So when I decided that, okay, it's time for me to look for a job, and now I went to my county and said, oh, I need a job. And they said they don't give job here, that I should go to the job website, that I'll get a job there. They helped me to sign in and everything. I said, okay, thank you. And I went home, I was waiting. So jobs came up around, I finished school in April, jobs came up around May, end of May, and I applied. I got an interview. And then when I went to the interview, it's the government setting, they will ask you like 8 or 10 questions. And so that's how I decided, okay. And I went for the interview. It was online. I sat in front of my computer, and they had 2 managers, one HR. So, and they started with the questions. 2 managers from, it's one team, one global team, but 2 sub teams in that global team. That's like, yes. So they were there, 2 of them. They I thought, I know I said this before, they had the GLC manager and the resilient manager. So they both were asking questions, and I was very confident with my technical skills. So I didn't have any problem with when it comes to technical part of the cybersecurity. So the GLC asked a question, and it just tallied with the inventory, how to do inventory. And I didn't want to go into a lot of like you have to get a tool and this, because there I was also considering the HR, the HR personnel that was there. So the simple way I could explain managing of asset of inventory was the risk registrar and everything. And but I didn't just because when you learn all these frameworks, you don't just go and say, oh, I did this framework and this is what you should do, this what you know. I put in my technical knowledge in the framework. I fit it within the framework, and then I when I'm explaining the technical aspect, I don't use like, okay, you like for instance, you have to take this server and put in this like this workstation to connect to this server, and this, no, I don't use those terms when I'm on an interview. I use real life scenario. Like you can have the for instance, if you want to explain like risk management, you can have your house, your a fence, a river, and then the fence has a hole, the river comes inside, your assets are destroyed. So I use real-time scenario, so that even if the HR doesn't know anything, he or she will understand exactly what I'm saying. So I don't go into any technical story or anything. I just use the day-to-day things that we use. Authentication, when you want to put on your computer, you have to sign in with your password and all those things. So I use what we use in day-to-day to fit it within those frameworks, and then but it's also technical in a way. So that's when I finished that interview and I explained everything, they were like, okay, we'll see you in 2 weeks. It was the HR. The HR was like, okay, I will send you an email within 2 weeks, but we are still interviewing other applicants. I said, okay. And I waited for them. I waited till about 2 to 3 weeks. The HR reached out and said, oh, I'm very sorry. We had holidays. I could not reach. So we are still interviewing. We'll soon finish. So July, I think mid-July, they now called me out. They now called me. They say, we interview everyone. You were the top candidate, and you beat everybody. Like I was surprised, I was smiling. So when I finished, they said they both call. both the managers, they said, congratulations, you are in the team and everything. I said, thank you. I started, and before they even said, they said, you will do, the way they put it was like, you will be in the resilient team, but you'll be helping the GRC team. I said, helping GRC team is 2 jobs in 1. And they were laughing. I say, yes, 2 jobs in 1. I say, okay. So that's how I started. I've been there for like almost 2 years, and I'm still growing stronger and stronger. So yeah.
Thank you, Tutu, for that. So going back, there's a question from Angela, and that will tie into my next question. So during your interview, so let's go back to your first role. So your first role, Angela's question is, it seems your first role was more a bit more security, focused on more, security than GRC, but you also had some GRC stuff in there. So how did Angela is asking, how did your GRC internship experience with Eretmis, how did that help you on your first job? And then also you can follow up to that is, so just answer that first and then I'll do the follow up. So how did Eretmis GRC that you went through, how did that help you on the first job? Because from how Angela understood what you're talking about, it was more security than GRC.
So it helped the cohort helped me, or the internship helped me with building up the policies and also setting up the baselines, the security baselines. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. Now, for your new role that you are in now, how is the skills you acquired from the Eretmis internship, how is that helping you? And then also the follow-up to that is comparing what you gain, the hands-on you gain from the Eretmis GRC internship and workshop, comparing that to what you got from the school hands-on that you are doing, which one is really helping you most in terms of what you are doing now during your interview and then in terms of what you are doing now?
So in terms of what I'm doing now in the resilience side, my university is helping me more because it's more technical and threat hunting and monitoring. You go deep into technical stuff, scripting, script writing and everything. So the school I went to, they did an excellent job on that because it was all hands on, and that's exactly what I'm doing at work at the moment. So for the GRC side, they are using the NIST. The Eretmis came in with that because they use the main tool they use is Excel, and they also deal with policies. But the policy aspect of it is that another team takes care of the policy aspect of it. So I just maybe go in and see what is on the policy, and that's it. But I do for the GRC side, I do more of the checklist. I prepare audit meetings, audit interviews. I prepare like for instance, they want to audit and know if they have OIT. I'll bring up a small article on OIT, what you have to look into. So those are some of the skills I got. And also the and school also, they had that session. They always we always write policies for hospitals. So with that and the arithmetic, everything was combined, and I was able to combine that bulk of knowledge to um, 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 do a better job, because most of the time whatever I present, it comes with quality, and they keep coming for me for write-ups. that there's this, you have to write it up. But and also I do a lot of testing as well. And when you are testing, there's a set of framework. It's not the same framework I did, but I will have to take that knowledge, transfer that knowledge into what I'm doing to do a better job.
Okay, thank you. And in terms of soft skills, because in the security space, it's not just your technical skills. In terms of soft skills, what is helping you for what you did in Eretmis, what you did in school, combination, how is that helping you on the job?
So with what I did in what the soft skills I got from arithmetic is managing people a lot, and knowing how to handle a team. Yeah, how to handle a team. So arithmetic with that gave me a upper hand, because in school we're just team of two, and you don't talk to your teammate. You just come, you are friendly with them, and okay, let's do this project. They've given us this project, let's do it. But here it was a group of people. You have to manage them, you have to coordinate, and you have to direct. And what I'm doing in my GLC team, I have to manage people, set meetings. I have to coordinate. Sometimes I have to, there are some conflicts in at the workplace that it's mimic what we had. So it helps in know how to manage those type of conflicts that you come into. So those are the with that is the bulk of thing I got, and it's like 60-40% in the government environment. They take more of soft skills than because if you have the knowledge, you can manage people, you can cope.
Okay, thank you. And in terms of presentation, I think you mentioned they will have you present presentation skills and communication skills. How are you coping with that? And how did the GRC internship prepare you for a role like this?
Yeah, for presentation, the GLC team did well, because we always present in here, we always present. And the internship I did also, I always present material. So there's a lot of presentation when it comes to the GLC side. You have to present to make sure you are explaining the concept, the scope, and everything to the because we have a lot of counties that we all the counties, every county in my state, we have to audit them. So you have to present what you are doing, the what you want, and the all the materials you want them to also submit. So but you have to give them that framework, the scope of things that you need. And also in the technical side, there's a presentation you have to present to see, oh, I came into this situation. They'll say, okay, share your screen, they'll to see what the situation looks like and everything. So, or maybe a new employee comes in, you have to teach them the tools. So you will not just sit and be talking. You have to share, to present the tools, what they have to do. So there's a lot of presentation. It helped, though I hardly presented when I was in the GLC team, but it helped. It gave me that sense, that knowledge that, okay, when you are in an organization, this is what you have to do. So I was prepared for that.
Okay. Thank you, Tutu. So without the Eretmis GRC internship that you took, how well do you think you'd have been doing on this job, especially when it came to even for both, right? For the resiliency and for the GRC, but more specifically for the GRC, because you took just the GRC internship and workshop, not the entry level, right? The entry level would have also prepared you for probably even more for your resilient side. But if you take everything that you got from the GRC internship, how well would you have done on this role?
So if I didn't go into the internship, I think I'll still have done well, because with the role they teach you, they walk you through what they want, because it's different with every environment. With the government environment is different. If you bring in the skills you had for the private sector and come into the government side, it's different. You have to adjust yourself in their own space, in their setting. So they will teach me, and I will still have done very well in the resilience side. But with the GLC side, they would have taught me what they want, because it's different with the internships I went through and the roles I've had with the HIPAA and security side. It's a different environment.
So
Yeah.
would they have taught you soft skills, how to deal with people and conflict?
No, when it comes to the GLC work, no. But when it comes to the conflict and everything, you need to bring that with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then also even for the technical side, would they teach you how to conduct risk assessments? Would they teach you how to write a script? Do they teach you that, or that is something that you have to bring?
They teach you.
Okay, so like they'll
Yes,
teach you how
so
to conduct risk assessment.
yes, so they are
They will teach
on
you
their
how
own.
to do an audit.
You are talking about the technical side. With the
Like a combination, right? So what I want everybody to know is, would they orient you on how they do things, or they will actually teach you the job?
No, they will orient you how they do things. But they
Okay.
will not like teach you like you are going to a school, they teach you something. When you come there, say, okay, you did it this way, but this is how we do it this way. So
Okay.
because you have come with your knowledge, you'll be able to adapt, and you are learnable, you'll be able to adapt quickly.
Okay, so to make that clear, they show you how they do things because they have
Yes.
their own way of doing their things. The corporate side have ways of doing their things, but they are not,
Yes.
if you don't know the job, they are not going to teach you the job.
No, they don't teach you the job. But if you have the knowledge, your knowledge and everything, you come in, they'll tell you, okay, maybe in the corporate way, you were doing two, for instance, two spreadsheets, fill two spreadsheets here, will just fill one. That's an example. Yes.
Okay, and also just to add to that, just the same way how your resume for the corporate side on the government side is a bit different. They have a way, like a structure that they want you to, have it. Right.
Yes.
Yes.
So yes, the Air Force, there was someone from Air Force that came to school and said, those who are interested in the government role, bring your CV and I'll do it for you. Just one page, everything goes inside. Then the certificates or certification that you have, they have a format that they put it, and then that was what I used.
Okay.
It's different, yeah.
Okay, yes. So thank you for that clarification. Now, we have some questions in the chat for Tutu, but before we do, a quick housekeeping, and then we will give the floor for everybody to ask their question. So thank you, Tutu, once again for your time. We are going to get back to Tutu here shortly. Sorry about that. So for tomorrow morning, there's a graduation ceremony we are doing a graduation for our GRC internship and workshop. I think is the October cohort. They are graduating tomorrow, so kindly come and support us. And if you are new joining us, this is Eretmis Cyber Chat. We do this every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And Tutu, so my next question to Tutu, kindly hold on to this question. How does it feel? Because you joined, when you found Eretmis, you joined one of these sessions. Now you are here talking about your story, right? How does that feel? Just keep that, and we are going to get back to you on that. So if you're joining us for the first time, if you're looking to start off in the cybersecurity space, maybe unlike Tutu, you've not gone to school to get a degree, you still want to break into the cybersecurity industry, it's very doable, very possible. For us, our cybersecurity entry-level course is going to make you a cybersecurity professional from start to finish. It takes you through a very strong foundation in cybersecurity. It moves you into the doing portion of it, where you get to work on real-world hands-on projects, and then we assist you with job placement and interview prep as well. So if you're looking to break into this space, the entry-level course is the right course for you. Now, this is the program Tutu took, right? Although Tutu was in school doing cybersecurity, she still wanted more. So like she said, she is an explorer when it comes to knowledge. So she joined this program, worked on different GRC cybersecurity projects, and learned a lot of soft skills as well, because you come in thinking you're only going to learn technical GRC cybersecurity stuff, but then we sneak in with the soft skills portion, right? So you have to learn, or we force you to learn how to deal with people, how to work in a team, how to manage a team, how to present, how to communicate well. All that is embedded in this program. So if you have some degree in cybersecurity or not, you have done some training, RMF, whatever training, GRC, but you've not done any hands-on, like Tutu was saying, they will orient you on how they do stuff. Maybe for policies, it has to start this way, or they have the structure in a certain way. That is fine. But if they're not going to teach you how to do a policy from scratch, they're not going to teach you how to conduct risk assessment. They might have a different risk register. They'll have a special way of doing this. But if you don't know how to do it, generally, they're not going to be teaching you that, right? So this is where you get to learn and do all these projects in real time. And then our cloud security, this is open to, we'll be inviting Tutu and everybody else who is working to come and, learn more, add to your knowledge base, be more versatile as a security professional. We also go through AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. You are going to learn way more than you bargained for when you join this. And it's going to be a game changer in your career path. And then also AI governance for every cybersecurity professional on here. If you're aspiring cybersecurity professional, we encourage you to jump onto this course. AI has come to stay. It is part of what we do. As a security professional, you have to be able to also secure AI. And you cannot secure AI if you don't know how to do AI governance, right? So don't wait till they have to bring in somebody who knows cybersecurity and can do AI governance to replace you. And then for our PCI DSS, this is for folks looking to break into the 200K side, doing one job of cybersecurity. This is what we encourage you to look into. The starting time for all these programs are going to be, they were announced, they are all starting later this month. So next week, we are starting a couple of these, and early next month also as well. So getting back to Tutu. Tutu, how does it feel? You were on Cyber Chat one time, checking Eretmis out. What are these people doing? What are they up to? Now you are here talking about your story. How is the feeling like?
Interesting.
Good. Yeah, and just like Tutu, I think on the platform, on the WhatsApp platform, Ifeoma also put the same thing on there. Ifeoma started joining Cyber Chat when she was in Nigeria, hoping one day she's going to come to the States and become a cybersecurity professional. In 2 years, Ifeoma has been to the States. She's completed her training at Eretmis. She's a working cybersecurity professional now. She's working for less than 6 months in a job. She's been given a bonus. Everybody's, giving her all the flowers. Her company is based in Japan. She's going on a business trip to Japan next week. All sponsored, taken care of by her team. They are so glad she's part of their team, and she's doing great on her job. Now, Ifeoma, so just to add to, I think, a conversation that you had previously, you said the risk register and the risk assessment that you did during the internship, you are also doing something similar for your company now. Now, for Ifeoma, she did the same thing for her company. Her company is a huge retail company, the size of Macy's, right? But they are based in Japan and they have outlets in the United States as well. The risk register that she was working on during the GRC internship and workshop, when she did the same thing for her company, the company has adopted that for the whole entire company. So everybody in all the different countries worldwide, that is what they are using now. Right. And how are they going to treat her if she came up with a product that now the whole entire company is using? Right. So if you can also share a little bit about how you guys do risk assessment, risk registers, and stuff like that, and then we will leave the floor for any questions that anybody will have. I think Angela has some questions in here. So Ifeoma, please go ahead. Are you guys also using risk registers on your in your company? Which obviously I think you do in the GRC side. Oh, you are muted if you're trying to speak.
Hey, Dr. Ido, I think you missed the name. So Ifeoma is the person
that... Tutu. I was referring to Tutu. Finally, go ahead, Tutu. If Ifeoma is not on here today, I think she's probably on her trip. Yeah, Tutu, kindly go ahead. Are you also using risk registers on the job?
We do, but it's with we do with ServiceNow.
ServiceNow, okay.
And then Qualys. So
okay.
we handle all our inventories with ServiceNow and Qualys.
Okay, nice. So there's a question in here for you. Please share one experience on the job where you had to utilize soft skills, working with difficult co-workers, communication, with leadership and presentation. This is a question from Angela.
Okay, so one experience, there are so many experiences, but the only thing, I do a lot of presentation with a GRC team, and I just present as natural. I'm myself talking, and if they have any question they ask me, I just present the information given to me or the one I've researched on, and explain them to the best of my knowledge and break it down to the best of their understanding. And sometimes they'll say, okay, they understand everything, and that is it. With team, in the team, there are so many team, there are maybe some colleagues, they don't want to do what they are being told. They want to do their own, and some came from the private side because they came with a ton of knowledge. They know that they know the job, so when they come, they struggle because there's always that fight and queries in the meetings. Oh no, this is how it's done. You have to put this no, we have to audit this particular thing like this. The policy has to be audited this way. So there's a lot of talks, and most of the time some of them lose their jobs because they don't want people that are like they are not teachable, and all those things. So those are the type of conflict that arises. Sometimes you have to call your colleague at the after meeting, say, oh, you have to take it easy, just it's a framework, just follow the framework and let it go. And there are some times they don't want to hear, they just want to do what they want to do, and it's always there's always sometimes there's always argument. And those are some of the things I get, mostly the GRC side. And those are some of the things that we see. And then you have to normally, if sometimes the management might say, okay, there's a meeting, some people will come and some people will not come. It's remote, it's a remote job. Some people will come, some people will join late, but it's mostly the GLC side. And now the team has had some structure, because most of the people that were causing those conflicts, they all lose their jobs. So others have sat up and tried to know that. That's why I said their own system is different, but they need someone that is teachable. So that's how conflicts and presentation. I just present normally, and do you make sure the information that I'm to present is accurate.
Okay, thank you, Tutu. So, personally, for you, how do you deal with difficult co-workers or difficult bosses?
I just keep calm. I just, as I do at home, when my children are shouting, sometimes I'll shout, sometimes I keep calm. At work, I just keep calm. And when you keep calm, everywhere is calm. And then everybody starts saying, okay, maybe we can do it this way or this way. But for me, I keep very quiet.
So how is that similar to your, team members you are dealing with during the internship and workshop program?
Oh, it is it's the same thing. There's no difference. There's no difference. So the way I handled it is the same thing I'm doing, is because there's no difference. I won't say there's any difference. It's the same thing.
So that dealing with your cohort prepare you for your role if you have to deal with some very difficult people.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, and that is what sneaks up on everybody, right? You get into this, you think you are learning only cybersecurity, and you have to deal with Gabriel and deal with Angela and deal with, and in every team there is always that one person who will just give everybody trouble.
Yes.
But when people will reach out and say, Dr. Edu, I want out of this group, I want to join ADDI. And my question is, so if this was your boss and you're getting paid 180K in this job, will you quit because your boss is difficult? And you're like, yeah, okay, I get it now. Right now,
Yes,
how to deal with him?
yes, and how to
Mhm.
deal with difficult colleagues is just give them the right facts and say, okay, this is what it says, this is it here in front of you. So how do you want to argue on this? Just give them the facts and just stay quiet. So that's um the things, yeah, how I handle those type of things.
Okay, great. And if anybody has any questions, you can raise your virtual hand. But also to add to that, when it comes to team conflict and handling, difficult people on the job, sometimes even when you present facts to people, they just want to stand their ground because ego is involved there, right? But the best technique is you have to be more, show some empathy, right? Even if you know they are wrong, see it from their point. Try to walk them through, right? Because people are not logical, people are more emotional, right? So if he said Dr. Edu's suit is yellow, and of this is by no means yellow, right? Fifi insists it's yellow. Don't argue and say you are wrong, it's yellow, because then you are, Fifi's ego is being hurt. But you walk him through, okay, Fifi, so you said it's yellow. I can understand why you say it's yellow, but what are the properties of yellow, right? Walk me through what the properties of yellow is. Then he'll start walking you through. For yellow, it's bright as this, is this. Okay, and let's look at what Dr. Edu is wearing. What are some of the properties that you can see? So without you saying it is not yellow, Fifi will gradually realize, oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I also see it from your point too. Maybe it is not fully yellow. Now he will start coming down, right? Without you telling him you are wrong, because people don't want to hear that, or if you tell them in their face you are wrong, especially in front of everybody, they will stand their ground, even though they know they are wrong. So mostly the point is, if you have an argument, win or lose, you lose. Nobody wins an argument, because we are going to go out of this argument. Fifi is insistent, even though he knows he's wrong, he's insistent Dr. Slu's suit is yellow. Tutu said it's blue. Fifi knows after the argument it is blue, but just to hold his ground, he will still continue saying this, and he's not going to be convinced, right? Because when it comes to this space, it's more of influence. And this is a skill that everybody has to, polish up on, regardless of wherever you're going to find yourself working, right? You are going to be dealing with people, so you just have to walk them through, just be patient, like Tutu said, be quiet, just walk them through. So, okay, walk me through the process. Why do you say it's yellow? Explain that further. As they're explaining, they themselves will realize it's not yellow, right? So you don't have to point out the obvious. Just go with the flow, go with them until they go to the point where they are like, yeah, I think it's not yellow. Right. So that is a technique and a way of going about it. Angela, please go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Edu. Thank you so much, Tutu, for sharing your experience with us. I just wanted to add to what you were talking about, and I think Dr. Edu also pivoted in that direction. As far as when there is conflict or trying to work with the team, I think I'm kind of in Tutu's shoes, something like that. But I realized that, as Dr. Du was pointing out, the facts, that's what I thought too, that, if it's the facts, or if it's the regulations, or if it's the framework, then once you're able to point them to that, then that should resolve any, but I realized quickly that sometimes that even makes them so annoyed. And I had infrastructure throw in my face that they labeled me like best practice, because when I went in, I'll be like, this is best practice. And then I'll show them, in documentation where it says we should do this and that. And I learned quickly that I had to do a U-turn, because you'll be labeled as not flexible, you are not working with the team and all that. So, now I started doing more of an engagement, talking to, them. Okay, so why are we saying this? Because obviously what I'm suggesting is best practice. But I realized that they were also trying to, let's say infrastructure team, they are trying to protect the environment or uptime. They are worried, something will break and all that. So you have to find a common ground. And then, I told them that, okay, that's why what I told you was a suggestion or a recommendation. So I'm open to us dialoguing on it. So with time, I told them, they all agreed that what I was suggesting would have been the best practice. They put that in quotes. They like your best practice, and they put that in quote. But then, what they are suggesting is also okay. And I told them that's not bad at all. That also mitigates the issue. We find a common ground, because if it goes up, leadership is concerned about uptime, getting stuff running. So yes, leadership brought you there for security, but at the same time, the bottom line is their concern. So it's one of the things that's really difficult when you're on the ground. And it's something that, yes, through the internship and stuff, we got some grounds, because you'll be dealing with teams and working, stuff like that. But as you grow in your career, these things, you keep refining and refining and refining. So I just wanted to add to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Edward, please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Doctor. Thank you for the other day. Yes, sir. I have a question for you and for the whole house, because again, I'm big on PCI DSS, and I've seen where different assessors give different interpretations to requirements or controls, and everyone thinks they are right. Yes, so it's the same control is there. I'm just interpreting it one way, and somebody else is doing it another way. How do you resolve those kind of conflicts?
Okay, so it's very similar to what they do in the judicial system or in the court system, right? The same constitution, the same laws. One judge will interpret it in one way. It will go to a higher court for interpretation or to review the case. Another judge will flip it, right? And they are all based in their argument, and they will have their own write-up for their judgment, right? And if you look at everybody's argument, it is right. But the lawyers say they have something they call the spirit of the law, right? In PCI or using any cybersecurity standard or framework to conduct an audit is the intent of the control or the requirement, right? So, and it comes down to so whether you say they passed the control or they met the control or the requirement is based on the auditor's or the assessor's professional judgment. So professional judgment varies, but then the control or the framework doesn't vary. It's the same thing. And for the control or the for the control or the requirement, we are looking at the intent of it. So, for example, a control that says the company should have should implement multi-factor authentication and identity and access management, right? Now, or no, let's even take multi-factor authentication. For a simple one, they should use 7 characters for their password, right? It should have a mixture of letters and special characters and numbers. So 7 characters, that is what every assessor will be looking out for. Now, if the company is not using a password at all for their as any factor of authentication, and they are using multi-factor authentication, they've exceeded the intent of the requirement. And what is the intent of the requirement? Reason why that is given, reason why we are checking, or we are saying they should, the standard is saying they should use 7 characters. The intent is to make sure their access or access into their systems are well managed, and is like the authentication that they are using is strong enough to protect their identity and access management setup. So if they are doing something that is even better than what is being asked of, then they far exceeded the intent. Although by the letter, they don't have the password in place in the first to begin with. But if per the professional judgment of the assessor, if the assessor knows what they are doing and they understand security well, now they know, they far exceeded it. But for an assessor who is not well vested, they are just going by what is there, reading it word for word. If you don't have it, then right. Now, taking that off, maybe let's say you are looking at policies. An assessor will look at a policy. If it has the basic, structures on it, it has the scope, it has that, content somewhat, somebody will say, okay, it's good. Make sure you polish it up more. So they'll give you a pass. Somebody else will say, no, you have to fix this and that before. Either or, they are both not wrong. It's just, somebody being maybe a little bit harsh, if I put it that way. Another person being a bit lenient, but still they don't have to sacrifice the intent of their control, right? So let's say, for example, if you went to the hospital to do your annual physicals and they checked your blood pressure, when they checked it, it was 150 over maybe 90. A nurse will say, nah, that is, relax, maybe because you just came in, relax. Somebody will take it 4 times and use the least. Somebody will just take it 1 time and say, oh, yeah, that's it. Your pressure is really high, 150 over. You see what I mean? So it really depends. It is based on their judgment for them to, because when they take it, somebody will do it at least 4 or 5 times to make sure, okay, I think that one was, because you just came in, you're rushing. They did another one. So even if it's high, truly high, they'll do it 3 or 4 times. They'll get the average. Okay, I think you sit around now. This is, your actual blood pressure is maybe 100, and it ranges between 140 and 150, which is a bit on the high side. So, and they'll put it on your record. Somebody will just take it 1 time and, go the lazy way. Just put it on there and say, that's it. Right. So, and when you do the assessments, there cannot be 2 assessors doing the same assessments, checking the same controls. there can be two assessors doing one assessment. One is the lead, one is the one assistant, right? So, but then they break it out where you do different portions of it. So there's never going to be the occasion whereby one person is saying this is in place, the other person is saying it's not in place, right? Unless, of course, I'm doing the assessment with you, I'm the lead, and when you are done, I'm going over it and I'm looking at what you said. This is in place, and I'm looking at the reasons why the reasons you gave for that being in place, and the reasons don't really sound, well to me. I'll call you and discuss that with you. Hey, so what did you see, or per this? Why are you saying, for you to explain to me, right? Because if I'm the lead assessor and you are working with me also as an assessor, I'm the lead, so I'm your senior, and it's my job to make sure although you know your job, but I'm also training you and giving you some more pointers, right? So, but if an assessment is done, signed off, another person, when they come and they do the same thing, what I said is in place, maybe they will probably give it 80% or 90%, but they cannot say, no, this is not in place totally because you are missing one piece of this, or right. But all that is based on professional judgment. But the professional judgment has to be informed by years of experience and know-how, right? So that is why it is very dangerous to have an assessor who really is not well vested in the security space and don't know what they are doing. At that point, they are just either passing you everything or failing you things they don't even understand themselves, right? Vivian, please go ahead. Any other questions for Tutu before we wrap up?
Okay.
Yes, go ahead, Edward.
Okay, yes, I have something to add to what you just said. I have seen two scenarios play out a lot of times.
Okay.
When you are doing an interview, an audit interview, they will go like, hey, the other assessor last time didn't ask me this much questions. Yes, you are doing too much. I've seen that happen. Then I've also seen where you have to go sometimes toe-to-toe may not be the right word with company personnel. Oh, yes, this is meeting that control. And you say, hey, no, this is not meeting it. I've seen both scenarios play out. Hey, the other person didn't do so much. You are doing too much. Hey, we know what we are saying. What you are saying is wrong. So, yes, and I've had to handle them in different ways. So,
yes, and it all comes down to, maybe one day we have a session on, soft skills, influence, and leadership. Because as an assessor, you are a leader, right? And you are the one who runs the show. You can't go to court and tell the judge he's wrong. No, I mean, when I went to this court, the judge wasn't talking about all these stuff. So why are you talking about? No, it's not done anywhere, right? So you, the assessor, you have to know your place. And you have to make sure nobody's crossing the line. That doesn't mean you're overly strict. You are friendly, but fair. So Dr. Edu, when I do my assessment, very friendly, but fair, right? I might be laughing at you and laughing with you and smiling and giggling, but you will be on the failing track. You're not failing. And you are going to accept that graciously because it's not like in your face, you are wrong, but I'll work with you. But if you're not pulling your weight and it doesn't look like you guys want to pass, then obviously I'm going to help you to fail, right? But if somebody is telling you, well, the previous assessor wasn't asking this and asking this, all assessors are not the same, right? So you try in a friendly manner to let them understand, hey, if I ask you more questions or I dig more into it, is to help. I'm doing that to help your company. Because if I give you a false hope that you passed, meanwhile you failed, when the attackers come knocking on your door, you are going to be the one in the hot waters, not me. Right? Because I can say you passed, but I know you failed miserably everything. If you get breached or you get hacked, it's on you, not me. You can't hold me responsible because an assessment is a point-in-time event. Just like if you went to the hospital to do your physicals and the doctor said, yes, you are very healthy, and then you got out, you went home and you collapsed and you almost died. Are you going to see the doctor and said he was lying? Right? Anything could have happened from the time you left the hospital to go home. Right? You could have smelled something. So you can't hold him accountable, even though probably he didn't do his physicals right. So if you ask more questions, you are digging more into it. you are helping them more than, but people always want the easy way out. They just want to pass the assessment without doing the work. But it's your duty. That is why whichever institution bless you off and say you're an assessor, you can go do the assessment. Your integrity is also on the line, right? So you have to make sure you are doing the right thing. They've entrusted you with that, responsibility. So you have to enforce it, but in a nice way. And that is where soft skills come into play, because people will just challenge you for nothing. They are just, and like I said, ego is at stake. So if you call them out in front of everybody, you are bruising their ego, and they're also going to fight back, right? But don't call them out. You graciously, okay, I see why you say that, Edward. Okay, you have a good point. Then most people will tell you from the GRC internship and workshop, I'm not going to tell you are wrong, right? What is the point? Okay, you have a great point, but also look at it from this perspective. I don't have to tell you the obvious. Right. So from that perspective, okay, what I was saying was all nonsense. I don't have to tell you. You know that for yourself if I break it down in a very nice way. And I will be able to get my point across more than trying to bruise your ego and to let everybody know and belittle you in front of everybody and let them know you don't know anything. Meanwhile, probably before I came in, you are, the guy or the girl of the moment. Everybody thinks you know your stuff. And now Dr. Edu came in to do an assessment and he just belittled you and he's calling you out here and there, and you are not going to like me. And people who like you on the job are not also going to like me. Next, they are telling their boss, I don't think this QSA company knows what they are doing. And next, okay, next year we are not giving you the contract. That also doesn't mean I should give you a pass if you fail. So you have to be tact. In the army, we call it, you have to be tact in dealing with people. So you have to, and being tact is learning how to play the influence game, right? So without bruising people's ego, without stepping on their toes, without letting them feel, small or belittled, but at the same time putting your point across, so you are able to make friends even in the midst of disagreements, right? So it's a whole science on its own, right? So Vivian, kindly go ahead and then Ransford, and we will wrap it up. So hopefully this is helping everyone. Oh, somebody was asking Tutu's salary range. So Tutu, if you don't mind, you can give us a range. Somebody is here, I think it's CF.
It's within 6 figures.
Okay, so it is 6 figures. That is okay. Good. Vivian, please go ahead, and if Ransford is ready, Ransford, you can ask your question.
Okay, thank you, Doc. My question was, I actually put it on the chat, but probably you skipped it. It's based on what Edward was talking about. I wanted to see is there a way you could tie this with the compensating controls clause that PCI added to the adjustment of the requirements because of this kind of issues that may come up, as far as people feeling like, hey, there should be an alternative way of getting this requirement. That's one. And then secondly, the other one is quite off, but I think it's still relevant for folks out here that want to come into the AI challenge. So I have this challenge that is, I already signed up for it, and I understand we're starting on Monday, but I have a job commitment that would make me difficult for me to plug in on 6 p.m. Central, which is 7 p.m. when it's supposed to start on Monday. Is it going to be recorded? Like,
You're good, Ransford. So we will be moving it to the right, and the date will be put out tomorrow. We'll move it to the right, but there are still recorded versions that you're going to have access to, right?
Okay, thank you.
So, and then coming back to the question of compensating controls, now we are moving deep into PCI DSS, right? So compensating controls, they were not just added on to the new PCI standard or framework. They've been there the whole time, right? The new addition to the new version 4.0 and 4.0 is what they call is not compensating control. They have the traditional way of doing assessments, and then they have another way that you are at liberty to do whatever you want to do, but you still have to meet the intent, right? So is the approaches of the assessment that really changes. So you can go the traditional way, the defined approach, or you can go with when you choose to do your own stuff. Now, compensating controls have always been there. Compensating controls simply is if you know you cannot meet a standard, the control beforehand, then you have to put in place another control that is going to compensate for your lack of, being able to meet the original standard. Right. So that has been there the whole time. So if you know, maybe you have to have 7 or 8 characters for password, but then you are using an old system that cannot hold 7 characters for password, then you have to do something extra. And the something extra in this case is, why do they want you to have 7 characters? 7 characters is one of or using a password is one of the factors of authentication. So if you cannot do that, what other factors of authentication can you put in place to still meet the same intent? So if you put that in place, then you are putting a compensating control in place. And in the PCI space, there's a whole document that you're going to fill out for compensating controls if you have any of them in place, right? So aside compensating controls, is either you meet the requirement or you don't meet the requirement. So, and if you fail the requirement, that is not when you are going to say, I have an alibi. I can put compensating controls in place. It doesn't work that way, right? So that is why PCI is one of the few standards or framework that is a whole beast on its own. So with you just knowing ISO or knowing, you cannot just simply jump into PCI and function there. You're going to be lost, right? There's a whole world on its own. So if you are looking to polish up more on that side, and that is why, folks in this space get paid the big money, because it's a whole world. And for PCI professionals, that is all they do for the whole year. Full time, you are a PCI guy. You are not cybersecurity together with PCI. You are PCI falls within cybersecurity, but as part of the security team, you are strictly just focusing on PCI and nothing else, right? Because it's a whole world on its own, right? So hopefully that helps. Now, what would be your advice to somebody who has yet to enter GRC but has completed the entry level? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Tutu, Abraham is asking, what would be your advice to someone who is yet to enter the GRC field and has completed the Eretmis internship and workshop? What would be your advice? And this is from Abraham.
My advice would be confident in yourself. Build yourself by doing more studies. Don't rely only on the internship. You have to develop yourself to make sure that what you have learned, you have understood it. And by understanding is to practice it with other concepts, and study more, discipline yourself on knowing the material, self-studies as well.
Okay, thank you, Tutu. And Daniel, please go ahead. And Vivian, if you are ready, you can still ask your question.
Hi, Doctor. I sent a direct question to you. So when you're free, can you just revert, please? Thank you.
Okay. Too easy, Daniel. Okay. And if Vivian is ready, you can ask your question.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I put myself on mute. Sorry
Mute,
about
okay.
that. And I was talking. Nobody was listening. I'm like, what in the world? Anyway, hi, everybody. My name is
Hello.
Vivian Ayiki. My question is on Tutu. She says she's from a student to analyst. Was it a hands-on or was it theoretical? So I don't, because I'm a beginner, I'm just studying, and I really want to know the route she took to be, because talking to her, she's really a professional in the field. So I really want to know how she went Was it hands-on or was it theoretical? So I just want to know that which one is which.
Okay, Tutu, kindly go ahead.
So period to US, what I was doing, the cybersecurity and forensics, it was only forensics that was hands-on. Cybersecurity was just theory. But when I came into US, the school I went to, it was hands-on. They prepare you for the job market. And then it's the same hands-on that doctor was that doctor does, because I was more on the hands-on. I knew the theory and everything. I could talk on that, but I needed to know what I was talking on. So the both programs, the internship and what I did in school was hands-on. That's why when I went into the job market, it wasn't difficult for me at all. I felt as if I was still in school doing just what I was doing. So it was
Okay,
hands-on.
sorry to bother you again. Was it on apprenticeship basis or internship basis, or do you just do it without a company, or do you I don't know, was it an apprenticeship that, because it's an apprenticeship, it's hands-on, or did you go to school or on the job training? So I really want to know.
Yes, so in my university, the university I went to, it was hands-on. That's why from the hands-on from class, they had
Mm-hmm.
to put us in a hands-on on a company
Okay.
to actually do it. So
Mm-hmm.
it was hands-on in class. They hardly give you notes to do. All they give to you, all the assignments they gave to us was um, all hands-on. They provided all the tools that the real well has that they use. They provided all those tools, so we did them hands-on. We did it
Okay.
hands-on. Yeah.
And this was on site, not remote, right?
It was remote. I was
Okay.
remote. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Because
You're welcome.
yeah, I was like, yeah. So, and you
Yeah,
can't
just
study it.
like doctor's own tool is remote, so it's the same process.
Yeah. So it has to really be on site. You can't study it. You can't study it on your own, right?
No, you can't study on your own. You have to be in a program like if it depends what you want to do, you have to be in a program. If it's GLC, you can because I'm not sure in GLC they when you go to school to study, it will be hands-on on that. But I'm not sure because I didn't do GLC, though I did the HIPAA side of the security part of the HIPAA side. We're doing that in the hospital. So I'm not sure about GLC for school, but with a good program like doctors, then you will have the hands-on.
Okay. Can I message you later privately for the school and all the tools you need, please? You use.
Okay, if doctor says fine, that's fine.
Say that.
It-
I didn't hear what you
Yeah,
said.
sure.
I say you can
Yeah,
if
sure.
doctor
Yeah, you
yeah
can put your
you
number
can.
in there for
Mhm.
Vivian. But Vivian, if you're starting from scratch,
Yeah.
what you need, Tutu took a different route,
Okay.
but you don't necessarily need a degree to be able to start into
No, I
this.
don't want degree. I
If-
already have a degree. I want like certificate.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
and you also don't need a certification. What you
Oh,
need
good.
is the know-how, being able to do the projects,
I thought they said
right?
before you can take the test, you have to provide accredited whatever school, whatever.
So there are different certifications, the Security
Okay.
Plus, Security Analyst, CISA, CISSP, there's a whole list of them, right?
Okay.
Now, it is not a requirement asked Tutu during her interview, did they say, well, Tutu, we think you are the best person, but because you don't have CISSP, we're not going to hire you? It doesn't work that way, right? It's based on what you know and what you've demonstrated that you can do, right? So if they are asking you, and like Tutu was saying, during her first interviews before she got into some hands-on, she'll go to interviews and they say, yes, you are talking a lot of theory, you have the knowledge, but we don't think you have the hands-on, right? Because
yeah, so that's the program I want to follow the route.
yes.
Then
Then you have to join the GRC internship and workshop that is starting on the 28th. So I think the links will be posted. So you are going to, and that is where you work on different cybersecurity projects, at least 8 to 10 different cybersecurity projects, and you're actually doing it, right? So when you start to speak about it, you are speaking about what you've done, not what you've memorized or what you think should be the case. Because, for example, you can learn about risks in cybersecurity, the different components of risks and all that, and talk about it all day. But if I ask you, how do you conduct risk assessments? Then that is where you know you don't know how to conduct risk assessments. Yes, you know some facts about risks, but you don't know how to conduct risk assessments, right? Because then,
you
people
say risk assessment or risk management. Which one?
No, how do you conduct risk assessments?
I don't know, but in a medical view,
No, it's not you don't have to answer that. It's just
okay,
kind of a rhetorical question, right?
Okay.
So in what we do for risk management in cybersecurity, there is a lot of different components in risk management. But when you start actually on the ground, the first thing you do is your risk assessment to have a better, idea of what your risk looks like before you start into before you move into the management part of it, right? So, and you have to actually do it for you to see it in real time. And we do all that and, other different projects. So the right program, if you have some degree already in the security space or something of that nature, then jump into the GRC internship and workshop. That is going to be the game changer.
And also you all help people prepare the resume and the workforce, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna put my phone on the thing so that you let me know when the
when the next one is coming up. Okay.
Yeah, but what about the ICS2? Does that help or it's just a gimmicks?
The ISC square certification, like the CC.
Like what?
Like the certification or like the training that they have online?
The ICS2 certification in cybersecurity. Is that explanatory or just a
Yeah, that is some an introductory course into, but that is by no means, even in terms of just pure knowledge to work, that is not enough.
That's not enough.
Yes.
Okay.
But to give you a good intro into cybersecurity, but it's not enough to use that to work anyway.
Oh, okay. Just like preparatory school, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tutu.
You're welcome.
All right, Edward, please go ahead and we'll wrap up.
Yes, please. One last inquiry. I want to join the AI challenge. Is it too late? Can I speak to someone tomorrow or Monday?
No, it's supposed to be Monday, but we'll push it a little bit more to the right.
Okay.
But it's going to be next week.
Okay. So I can speak to someone on Monday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What of tomorrow? Just asking.
Yeah. So for joining, you just go to the site and the link is there, so you can just join.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Yes, you're welcome. All right, everyone. Appreciate your time, Tutu. Thank you very much. And for taking time to walk us through your journey and what you are doing on the job. Gabriel, thank you for being a wonderful co-pilot. Now, next week, Gabriel also going to be in the hot seat, and Gabriel is going to walk us through what he's doing on the job now and his journey as well. So also an exciting times coming next week. So appreciate everybody's time. And for everybody who put where they're joining us from in the chat, sorry. I think there were a few, Ransford, Texas, and Freddie was saying greetings. Trina is joining us from Texas as well. Andrew
from Texas too.
Okay, Vivian from Texas. Andrew's joining us from Pittsfield. And we have Philip. Phil is joining us from Connecticut. And some team lives in there as well. So appreciate everybody's time. And we are going to be meeting again same time next week. And next week, Gabriel is going to be in the shoot. Now, Gabriel didn't go the traditional way like Tutu did. Gabriel went straight from, I think, entry level, or he jumped into the GRC internship. And then now he's working on the job. So he's going to also come back and tell us what he's doing. And I mean, we're also going to see it from Gabriel's perspective as well. So different journeys, same destination for the most part, but different path and different, like paths to the same destination. And that is what we're doing. We've been doing it for the whole of this month. So we appreciate everybody's time. Have a great and wonderful rest of the weekend. And we are going to meet same time next week. But tomorrow, kindly join us for the graduation celebration for our GRC interns who are completing. So the link will be posted. So you can kindly join us in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, to at least 11:30. We should be done. Thank you very much. Have a great and wonderful weekend.